Welcome back to Superior Sunrise. With me now from Merck Animal Health, Tucker Schumacher. Tucker, thank you for being here. We really appreciate you guys being here. Y'all are sponsoring the dinner tonight. We've had a great relationship with Merck. Talking about that relationship, you guys really utilize the data that's coming out of these sales. What are you doing with this data to better help your customers?
Yeah, so what we've done, right, for about the last 6 or 8 years, we've gathered the data from all these sales and put that together to show value, what things, what's bringing back money, what's not, what that sort of thing. And so the biggest thing we've kept I think we came out in January, we had all that from the last 2 years. So we've kind of started doing more larger swaths of cattle. So we had 2.5 million head in this data set. And that's showing that, there's a lot of stuff that came out of there. One of the biggest things we saw for our advantage, right, and I think the customers at Superior, is the baseline now on a VAC program is VAC 24, right? So as long as you're VAC 24, which that pretty much means you're giving 1 round of shots, so a modified live and a killed vaccine to those calves. If you're doing that, you're getting along, you're kind of a baseline. Anything below that, you're going to get discounted. Anything that what we saw, the biggest advantage of that was a VAC 45. With the VAC 45, we saw some of those calves, that would be 2 rounds of a modified live, a killed vaccine, so 2 rounds of that. Somewhere in the round of a $48 premium for those type of calves. So I would say, the other thing that we looked at in there that we do, obviously some of our products would be implants, right? So one thing a lot of guys get, concerned about when they're implanting, if they're not in a natural program, obviously if you're in one of those, you can't implant, but if you're not in a natural program, you need to be implanting because there's somewhere around the bound about $40 a head you're missing out on pounds there, right? So we still sell on pounds, even though there's a lot of value in some of those programs. But I would say that's the biggest things we gather out of that data set. So.
Well, in talking about, Merck has the Prime VAC program. Talking about this program, what makes it unique compared to others?
Yeah, so our program, right, there's a lot of differences in some of those that are out there, but I would say the easiest thing for ours is we've tried to make, our vaccine protocol pretty much easier for guys to understand. I know vaccines can be pretty confusing. Obviously, a lot of these guys, y'all's customers have a lot of things on their mind, and vaccine protocol is not one of them, right? And I don't blame them, right? That's not what they do every day. That's what we do, but not what they do. So we try to make it easy, with our Prime VAC program, is it does require for a VAC 24, like I mentioned, 1 modified live and a black leg. So what we've done is we come out with a new product here a couple of years ago, Nasion 3-PMH. It's an intranasal, so that product, the modified live, can be given to any calf that's on the cow, no matter the status of that cow. If she's been killed, give a killed vaccine or a modified live, so they can use that at any time, and then follow that up with one of our black leg products, which would be a Vision, Cav 9, or Covexin 8. And then, like I said, for that VAC 45, come back on those calves when you're weaning and give them a Vista once, another black leg. And we also suggest they use Safeguard, which is our dewormer, and like I said, mention those implants. Make sure to implant those calves. So I think once you kind of go through that, it's a very basic type program. And we would say, as far as on the vaccine side, those calves are covered and bulletproof as we can get them anyway when they go into a feed yard type setting.
You mentioned it right there at the end. I think it's important to point out that this isn't just a program for your sellers. It's advantageous to your buyers as well.
Absolutely, right? I was talking to some Superior reps here this morning, and I think these buyers are starting to see really the value. It's always been there about vaccine programs, but they're starting to see, especially the price of these calves this year, that those calves need to hit the ground running when they hit to the feed yard. They don't need to fall apart, and they sure don't need to have a wreck. So they want really looking at these vaccines and thinking about what they can do with those calves when they get them.
Well, Tucker, thank you so much for being here with me this morning. Don't go anywhere. We have more Superior Sunrise up next.